All right, what is going on? Locked In Nation, what is up? Welcome back to the Locked In Podcast, episode 190. Welcome back. The man of the hour, my man George Mecaj, a.k.a. G-Money. What's up, brother?
Yo, what's up, man? What's up, everybody?
Welcome back.
I'm back. Long time back, long time in the making to come back for a little bit, First episode back in a long time, man, since, my departure, bro. And it feels good, man, good to be here, Thanks for having me again on short notice. I'm a little, obviously a little bit on the go, and today was not really the best day for me, but I figured I'll do a little bit of the podcast. You guys might catch me a little bit on the way to my soccer game, too, or my soccer practice, rather. So just bear with me, bro. But it was a good topic to come back to, though, for sure. So,
Yeah, George will likely be on next week, too, when we do after hours. So apologize, guys. Apologize for postponing it a second time, but you got to understand with these type of episodes, with the large number of people coming on the panel, it's very difficult sometimes to have everybody's schedule lining up. Those episodes are usually the largest amount of guests that we have on here. So we're just trying to make it work for everybody and give everybody an opportunity. So, man, I'll be looking forward to doing that one with you next week too, man.
Yes, I will too, man. It's going to be a good one.
Yes, sir. Yeah, Mike actually shouted at when you were back on, man. He said, yo, what's up, Mike? What's going on, man? Mike Akins. What's up, brother?
Yo, what's up, Mike? Happy to see Mike here and there. It's been a minute.
Yeah, and then we're going to have two other guests coming on, Marius, as always, and Bill. If he runs too late, that's okay, if he can't make it on. But I know Marius will definitely be in here in a little bit as well. What we're talking about tonight, guys, kind of fitting with everything that's going on with the election right now and everything, kind of how to have disagreements with people without essentially damaging the relationship, because that it's something that's not talked about enough. Something's not talked about enough. Actually, Mario is here too, so man, Marius in. Yo, what's up, brother? What's up, Mario?
Hey, what's up, guys? How are y'all, man?
Good, man. Good. I was just saying, I was like, it's George's first time back in here in a while, man. And he's actually going to be coming on for After Hours next week, too. So we'll have him on for 2 straight episodes, man. But appreciate you coming on, brother.
You got it, Brand. What's up, George?
What up, George?
What's up, bro? Good to see you again, man.
Yeah, good to see you. Good to see you locked in, man.
Yes, sir. Mike said, how is everything, brothers? Things are going well, man. Things are going well. It's a crazy time out there with all the election stuff that just happened. So as I was just saying, man, it's kind of a good topic to kind of realistically have. I was just saying, unfortunately, we had to postpone After Hours a second week, but mainly when you have these large panels like this for those episodes, it's very tough to kind of coordinate everybody's schedule. So that'll be the last time postponing. We'll be for sure rocking that next Thursday, no doubt about it. It's a hard deadline. I'm staying on that one. And not postponing again. But here we are for 190. And I was just telling the audience out there what we're talking about tonight. We're talking about how to essentially have disagreements with people without essentially damaging the relationship. Because a lot of times in disagreements, people more so out of logic, they act more out of emotion and trying to get their point across. And a lot of times it can really, really do some deep damage to a relationship. Even if
true.
Even if people brush it under the rug, sometimes it's things that are said that cannot be forgotten. So we need to be cautious of how we speak to people. And right now, with everything that's going on, I'm not sure about your guys' perception, but I'm just seeing it on social media, out and actually in public in general. There's a lot going on right now. There's a lot of tension going on with everything that happened in the election. It wouldn't have mattered if Donald Trump won or Kamala Harris won. There's going to be people on both sides. They're not going to like the results. And it's pretty crazy out there right now, and a lot of crazy disrespect going on between people. I'm just seeing a lot of crazy stuff. So I'm not sure what your guys' perception is on this, but I'll open up the floor to you guys. What do you guys think about everything that's kind of going on right now?
I'm just glad it's over, bro.
Man.
I got so sick and tired of my phone getting blown up, both Kamala or both Trump and this and that. People calling me at random hours of the day and shit, man. It just got overwhelming. And then anytime I would turn on the TV, there'd be a commercial for either Kamala or there'd be a commercial for Donald Trump. I'm just like, I was telling you guys on Sunday, man, we were watching that Birds game, dude. I'm like, I'm getting so sick and tired of this shit, man. I just want everything to be over with. Now that the elections are over, man, we can, finally move on as a country and see what's going to be in store with us for the next 4 years, dude.
Agreed. Truer words have not been said. Man, isn't it amazing? The text messages have stopped now that the election's over, man.
I'm still getting some. I'm still getting some. I don't know how. Like, I'm still not a whole lot as before, but I'm getting like maybe 2. I think like 2 or 3 a day. I actually just got one earlier this morning on my way to work, and I'm just like, dude, the election's over. Why the hell y'all still sending me shit?
Apparently Mike's getting them too. Mike just said I'm still getting them calls, pain in the ass.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah, man. It's I got one text I think after the election, but everything else has been quiet. Luckily on mine. But yeah, I felt the same way before the election. Man, I was getting blown up for like a month and a half, maybe 2 months, getting blown up. I think all of September and October mainly. I was getting blown up. After we had that short trip down at the end of September, I swear, man, when we came back, bro, I was getting blown up as soon as September hit, dude, all the way through. So like 2 months worth.
Yeah, Mike. Looks like me and you are on a special list, bro.
They got you guys on a list. Yeah, for real. They got you guys on a list out there. Gotta be somebody don't like y'all. Somebody got y'all signed up on some type of list. They put your information in.
Yeah, man, I'm getting concerned.
Those calls are annoying, man.
They definitely are. They definitely are, man. They're really, really annoying. But yeah, we were having this conversation Sunday, right, man? We were over at Rich's, and yeah, man, the ads on the ad. Yeah. So they, I remember, you were originally invited, George, but I know you had plans on Sunday. But they the ads on YouTube. You go on YouTube, you go and you stream. Say you have Hulu or something that is not ad free. You're getting ads. You're getting phone calls. I was just telling you on Sunday, man. I got a phone call that said Donald J. Trump on it. Automated recordings like on Sunday. And then the mailman coming in, like the mail that was coming in all this election BS, man. And then the text message is just consistent no matter which way you look. So it feels good that that's over. But man, there's a lot of tension going on right now, and it was it was pretty much expected. I didn't really think that there was not going to be tension, no matter what the result was. You know, unless the Libertarian Party won, which was not going to happen. If Kamala won or Donald Trump won, we already knew that there was going to be some tension. But some of the stuff I'm just seeing on social media, I've actually been really trying to stay off of social media if it isn't for putting out content, not actually consuming content. Because this whole week, ever since Tuesday, or technically, I guess Wednesday, since the last day and a half, it's been crazy.
Yeah, no, I've just been focusing on work, trying to stay busy. Really haven't even had time for social media like that. So I haven't paid too much attention to it. I did follow up on the elections on Tuesday night just to see what was going on and stuff like that. And then obviously, when I woke up on Wednesday morning, I found out that, you know, Trump won. He had reached that, you know, tally of electoral college votes. Outside of that, though, I haven't been paying much attention to social media.
Yeah. You want to know how I actually found the result, man? So don't cancel me all out there for this, but I was watching Fresh and Fit, and I had it on, and I fell asleep at like 12 something. And at like 2 something, I guess the stream was still going, and they were streaming the election results. And I woke up to hearing I'm proud to be an American. I saw Trump coming down to the thing. They were streaming Trump coming down to the podium, which was kind of crazy. It woke me up. He said he had 277 or something, and I just saw he won. So that was literally actually.
I tried to stay up. I just passed the fuck out. I think the last one I saw was like maybe around 12:30. And then I think after that, I just I think I closed my eyes and I didn't wake up till like the following morning when I had my alarm clock set up for work. And when I looked up at the news articles, that's when I found out that he had won.
Yeah, and I'm just seeing a lot of tension out there, a lot of craziness, and it would have happened if it was the other way too. If Kamala Harris would have won, then we would have seen people who support Trump also doing some crazy stuff. But you got to remember, no matter who you vote for, look, I'm not a minority. I'm not like, I can't sit there and put myself in the shoes of other people because I've never been in it. I know how I'll look at it. People look at me. I'm a white man in society. Like, I don't, have certain things that people go by. But at the end of the day, life truly does go on. It doesn't matter what the color of your skin is, what this is. Life is still going to go on. We still have to get up and go to work. We still have to pay bills. We still have different things. Now, people's reality of the world might be different, but at the end of the day, the world does keep spinning. It keeps rotating around the sun. Things don't stop. Time doesn't stop. We need to be much more respectful of one another. That's one of the biggest things that that is lacking, I think, now in society, is just lack of respect. People don't want to hear other people's sides. People don't want to see this, but people just don't tend to not have respect for one another nowadays, and it really, really shows. And with social media, it's become even worse. I just saw, like, after it happened, like, people going on social media and just saying, "Oh, if you voted for Trump, delete me. Like, we're no longer associated with."
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah, and it's, it probably would have been the same way with if Trump had won for certain people. That's what I'm saying. It's like, not like, I don't judge people. Like, say like who didn't vote for who I voted for, no matter what, win or lose. So like, I don't disclose who I vote for, but no matter what, whoever I vote for at the end of the day, win or lose, I'm not gonna judge. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna get rid of end a relationship, end a friendship, end a family relationship, end a relationship with a partner over who they voted for. It's just, man, it's kind of crazy. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Just, having disagreements with people, and you can have disagreements with people. It happens. And I think it's actually healthy to have disagreements with people. You're not going to agree with people that are close to you all the time, but how to do that in a way that's healthy, and it's not essentially going to damage those relationships, if you will. It's really crazy. Like I said. Like I said, The Simpsons predict him being in office. Everyone has the right to pick whoever. Yeah, Simpsons are crazy, man. I swear, I'm starting to think that the creator of the show is a time machine, man, and he's
he's a time traveler, dude. He's predicted so many stuff. It's actually getting kind of scary now, bro.
Yeah, it's.
You want to know what happens in 15 years? Just watch The Simpsons, bro.
The Simpsons know everything, They predict everything, don't they?
Well, man, I'm hoping
they know what's going on.
Well, if that's the case, man, I'm hoping that The Simpsons coming up more recently that they predicted I'm winning the Powerball. So,
Oh shit, man! You're gonna have to share some. You're gonna have to share some of those winnings, bro.
right? Nice, man.
Exactly. I'm looking at early retirement, brother.
Early retirement, man.
Exactly. You'll be finding me somewhere on an island sipping a pina colada and enjoying them sandy beaches, bro.
Pina colada mojito, man. Be sitting and enjoying my life, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You got that right. Yep, I'll be having my shades on, getting that suntan. I'll be good to go.
Yes, sir. I like it, man. Like I said, everyone got their right to pick whoever. Yeah, it's a free country. It's where we live, right? We live in the land of the free, home of the brave. You know, we have a right to pick who we want to vote for, and people have their reasons of why they vote for who they vote for. And at the end of the day, it's like, you know, that's their business, and it doesn't make someone a bad person because they don't vote for who you vote for. You know, I just think that a lot of people on both sides, they buy into the media too much, and they start to really, really believe, or like how a lot of people like to say, get brainwashed with a lot of the stuff that they hear, thinking that a lot of it is true. I'm talking on both sides. So I'm saying, let me play devil's advocate here. I'm saying on both sides. So this is whether you lean left or you lean right. This is what it's politics is. What are they going to do? One of their objectives is they're going to smear the other person, right? That's just how it is. It's how it is. It's how these media channels operate too. Whether you're watching NBC or CNN, or you're watching Fox News or any other right-wing station, they're there to spread a lot of propaganda and kind of both sides. So, and this is coming from someone who voted like a certain side, a certain way. I can acknowledge that on that side, they do the same thing and smear the other side as well. It's you know, people. I feel like a lot of people don't necessarily do the research, and what happens is it gets really, really blown out of proportion. But fundamentally, I think a lot of people have lost the quality of empathy and respect, and that's something that's really, really evident and lacking right now. Not everybody, but a lot of people. It's been a little crazy. I don't know what you guys have seen. It's a real shit. They're still doing it. I never watch new episodes that come out. He's talking about The Simpsons, I think. And he said The Simpsons did predict her being in office. That's the only time The Simpsons were wrong. Oh, did they really? Wow, I didn't know that. They predicted her being in office, huh? I'll have to check in on that. I did not know that.
I guess they finally missed their shot.
I did that, and the writers were like, "Yeah, we have to do one wrong intentionally, so they're not on to us."
Yeah, that's a possibility. You never know.
They only got one wrong. They got Trump. He got killed in an assassination attempt, but he actually survived.
Oh, did they really? Wow.
Yeah, they had one where no, he dies. I don't know how he dies, but they said the only time they got something wrong.
Yeah, I hope that doesn't predict anything coming forward, man. It's like crazy out there.
How about Elon Musk? You seen him up there in the hanging out with Trump and all at the rally, and in the speech, the post-win speech.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I think Elon did. Elon
made a lot of millions for Trump's campaign. Not that he needed a lot of money to donate, but I'm just saying he helped. He was right there. He's supposed to be like the guy that's going to run over the security of technological security of the country now. He's the president of technology in America. That's what he is, unofficially. That's kind of what they made it seem like. I mean, I was watching the news and looking at some stuff earlier, and he said that he's like basically going to control all that stuff now, even more than he really does.
Right.
Yeah, well, I mean, he gave him a big endorsement, so I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. Maybe they have a secret handshake behind the scenes, and he also owns Twitter now too, man. That's a huge platform, that where people, share their opinions, share their news stories and stuff like that. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they had like a secret handshake behind the scenes.
Yeah, man. Twitter, aka X now, which is for the uncensored side of Twitter now, of what it's become. Yeah, it's I did see there was a video and it showed Rogan, Musk, and Trump sitting at the table. It was almost like talking strategy. It's like before the election results had been done, they had been sitting at a table. I guess they were all just sitting together, but Dana White might have been there too.
Yeah, Dana White was there. He was there with the election.
Yeah, that's what I think it was. I think it was Dana. Yeah.
Dana, Trump, Probably Rogan makes sense, and Elon Musk, and probably somebody else.
Yeah.
So I guess you could say like Jeff Bezos finally said something. They said he was quiet the whole time, and he said something. He congratulated Trump. So did the Ukrainian president.
Who, Kim Jong-un?
Yeah, the Ukrainian president. Ukrainian.
Ukrainian. I thought you said Korean. Ukrainian. Who's it? Zelensky.
Yeah, Zelensky.
Yeah, it's yeah. People actually had asked me. I actually had a text right before this podcast. Somebody actually asked me. I'll disclose behind the scenes. Had asked me. He just said, "Hey," he's like, all everything aside, like he's like, "Can I ask what your thoughts on the election were and everything like that?" I said at the end of the day, like, he agreed with me when I said, I think that there's a big lack of respect, and that's one of the biggest things. He's like, yeah, true, is completely true. But at the end of the day, I voted for, based off of logic, who lined up with my values, like who outweighed more of what what I valued and my morals. That's who I picked. And I know why other people went the other way too, and that's okay. Everybody has things that they value and certain morals and certain things, but so how to have disagreements now. This is because it's the thing. People are going to disagree, right? Who they voted for, who they didn't vote for. You're going to have disagreements. I think one of the biggest things is when we get into disagreements with people and arguments is we come in with this thing called flooding, which is like, it's when our chest gets tight, we're emotional. Well, you have to try to check your emotions when you go into an argument. It's easier said than done for a lot of people, but I've seen it happen like single-handedly, as I'm sure you two both have. When people go in fully emotional into an argument, what happens a lot of times is there's personal attacks. People attack each other personally. They take low blows. And when words get said in some of those arguments, yeah, they may be forgiven, but sometimes those words are never forgotten. They're like, okay, that's how you truly feel about me. And there can be a lot of resentment underneath of that for a long time. So we have to be very careful of how we speak to one another. And I think we should be open and honest and accountable, but we shouldn't be taking personal attacks. That's the thing. Like, it's like, get your point across, be open, be honest, but like, you got to check your emotions going into these types of situations.
Yeah, no, it's good to have, respectful civil discussions. I mean, it's good to know where other people are coming from and, them stating their reasons to you about why they voted for who they voted and what their reasons are and whatnot. It's just that when, people go overboard and they cross that line, and then as you said, I mean, you have people deleting, people that they've known for years off of social media just because you voted one way or you leaned another way. And that's, I think, where it can get a little bit messy. I mean, at the end of the day, we're all Americans. Whether you voted for Kamala Harris or Donald Trump, like, when Joe Biden got in or whatnot, I mean, it is what it is. Life went on. And I'm pretty sure now life is going to go on as well. I mean, it was a very, very tumultuous elections. We had a lot of, issues in this country that needed to get fixed or whatnot. But the only way moving forward is, civil discussions between the two people.
Yeah. It's the truth, man. Yeah. If you can't have a civil discussion, it's like, what are we really doing here, I think at the end of the day, yes, you hit it right on the nose. We're Americans, and we're also human beings. We're human beings. So people, I think, like, you could go one way or another. Like, say, like, you could be someone who voted for Kamala Harris, and people go, "Oh, you're soft. You're, you know what I mean? You're soft. You're what do they say? A libtard. You're this." Or if you voted for Trump, they might say you're a fascist, you're a misogynist, you're a racist pig. You know what I mean? And either way, like that, you hear things like the typical comments from both sides, almost like, what do they say? Comments from the peanut gallery. Like, you got somebody saying something from one side, somebody saying something from the other side. At the end of the day, it's ultimately why I choose not to really disclose publicly, my political views and stuff like that. And it's a shame. It's not, people who are closest to me know. And that includes friends who don't vote the same way I do. At the end of the day, me and Thomas actually had an episode on this where we discussed how to remain friends during a presidential election when we don't agree. And that's the thing. Like, we lean different ways, and that's okay. You know what I mean? If we can get along and we respect one another, cool. You know. But also, I would say, like, if the other person won't meet you in the middle, and they're not willing to have a civil discussion, maybe not in the moment, but that's when you take the time to say, hey, look, I don't think we're going to accomplish anything here. Why don't we come back to this later? Like, when everything cools down, like, why don't we come back to this topic later? Because there are some points I still want to get across. I'm sure you want to get some points across. I want to hear what you have to say. But, like, look, if the person's heated and they're trying to take personal attacks, let's step away from this. Let's step outside the box. Let's have this conversation later, because realistically, we're not accomplishing anything here by taking personal attacks. Now, if that person still isn't willing to hear you out, they're like, nah, they take those personal attacks, and you actually don't feel, you know what I mean? You don't, like, I don't even want to say the word safe. You just don't, like, feel like, I don't know, like, you just feel consistently disrespected by this person. Like, they're taking consistent personal attacks. Maybe it is time to cut that friendship, family relationship out. And that's the saddest part about it is, unless a person changes their mindset, you can't force them to change their mindset. So a lot of times I think personal attacks come from internal issues. I'm not a psychologist, obviously, by any means, but I think a lot of it comes from internal issues. Maybe people don't feel good about themselves. But yeah, I think that the best thing you can do in these arguments is, if it's getting emotional and things are getting personal, it's time to take a step outside the box and maybe come back to it later. Nothing comes good of it when emotions are high on both sides, because you're just going to butt heads and lock heads, and nothing really good comes from that.
And absolutely. I was trying to give George an opportunity to speak or whatnot. I don't know what's going on over there. I was trying.
He said he's got to go to a soccer thing, actually, so he said he's going to be down.
I'm listening.
Yes, sir.
I just got here, though, but I'll hang out for a few more minutes. But I get changed. I mean, not changed, but I get my shit out. I'm already changed. Yeah, I was listening, man. No, I feel you, man. I feel the same way. So I just don't talk about politics, bro. People are too weird. They can't handle nothing. People are like, oh, fuck that. You like this guy? And they give you like this little weird look. I'm like, I don't talk about it.
Exactly. I mean, well, especially publicly. I feel like on social media, there's not really, I mean, if you want to speak about it on social media, you have the freedom to do so. The thing is, you have to be expected when you post things on social media that people are you're gonna get some shit for no matter who you vote for. So you post it on social media, be prepared. I'm sorry, I don't have time to argue with people on social media all day or try to sway them to my point of view. A lot of times it's I feel like people do it because they actually are dying to be seen and heard. People post things, right, that are controversial because they want the attention, they want the validation. They want to be like, I'm for this person and F this other person, and they know people are going to come at them. But they actually, I would actually say that genuinely they kind of comes off as like they actually like kind of enjoy that in a weird way, which is, I don't know. It's kind of like you're seeking validation a little bit there, and I don't know. I just don't care to really disclose my political views. And hey, I've had people come to the door too, like knock on the door. Like the day of election day, I had someone knock on my door. But I had somebody knock on my door days leading up to it, and like they're like, "Hey, you going to the polls?" And on election day, I was like, "I already did." And then they asked me, "Was I voting for so and so?" I just said respectfully, I just don't disclose who I'm voting for. But I appreciate. I said I appreciate the inquiry though. I was like, "Have a great day." Just kept it respectful and had them just kept it moving.
Yeah, I had the same thing happen to me, although it wasn't at the house. I work in the city, so normally after I finish my lunch, I normally take a walk all the way to 15th and Market, where the main area is in Center City and stuff like that. And on my way there, like they had like people that were walking around, and they had like a pen and clipboard, and they were asking random people. I'm like, are you guys planning on vote? I think they were trying to register people to vote. Luckily for me, though, they didn't ask who I was voting for specifically or whatnot. They were just asking if I was registered or whatnot. They were, scattered all throughout the city and stuff like that. And I already told them, I'm like, yeah, I'm already registered to vote. I'm just, waiting for the day to come so I can go to the polls. I think they had some. I think for some people they were trying to get them to vote early. I think that was something new that they were doing this year. Not like the mail-in votes. I think like they had like a special area to where you could actually cast your vote early, where you didn't have to wait until November 5th to cast your vote in.
Yo, guys, I won't cut you guys off, but I got to get going, all right, yo, because I'm already here. Oh, you're late.
No problem,
good talking to you guys again. It was a good podcast, yo. I'm going to hit you up. All right, Steve. Thanks for having me again, yo. Ladies and gentlemen, have a good night and enjoy the rest of the show. All right. Have a good
No
one, man.
problem, man. See you next week, man. Take
All
care.
right, bro. Take care, man. Good seeing you, G.
See you.
Peace. Yeah, my bad, man. What were you saying? Jordan,
Nah, you good. Yeah, I didn't know what the hell was going on over there. The camera was moving like crazy. Yeah, nah. So they were just trying to get people to vote early and stuff like that. So everybody was just trying to be like in that spirit or whatnot, trying to get ready for the election season. So I'm not really surprised. I not. I mean, I don't recall anybody actually coming to the house, although maybe they may have. I probably just wasn't home because I work Monday to Friday. Normally when I was here on the weekends, they never came to the crib. So maybe I don't know. Maybe my neighborhood was one of the lucky ones to where they didn't come out there for that.
Okay. Yeah, maybe they came on election day, but you weren't home.
Yeah, possibly, yeah. And I was at work, so well, I mean, I was at work, but they did leave us go. Excuse me, they did leave us to go home early, so I had early dismissal that day to give everybody time to get to the polls so they can cast their vote in. So yeah, maybe they probably did. I just wasn't there.
Yeah, it makes sense, man. It makes sense. That's everybody has a right to vote, so we need to make sure everybody can get to the polls. I think it's like I think people have to, like, say you're working like a 12, 13, 16-hour day, you have to have an opportunity to get out there and vote. That's not fair. If you're going to vote, you're going to be at work all day without an opportunity. Like, you have to be given it. Only I mean, for the presidential elections, it only comes once every 4 years. So
Yeah, no, I mean, every time I've had an opportunity to vote in the presidential election, I've always voted. I believe I voted like 2012. I believe was the first one. I voted in 2016. I voted in 2020, and I also voted in 2024. So it's very, very. The presidential election is always very, very important. So I always try to do my duty as a citizen and go out there to the ballots to cast my votes.
yeah, absolutely. And I always say, like, people that don't agree, like maybe like the stance I took or whatever, I'm always open, like, for those who are closest to me, because I don't really disclose publicly political views, but I'm always open to discussion and like an honest discussion about things. Like, that's the thing. It's I think that's the thing, is that so many personal attacks get taken. It's like it's just nothing gets solved by that, right? That's this much more harm than good, and we damage our relationships with those people. I'm just shocked at the number of people that are saying like they're going to end like relationships with like family members and friends, like, over who they've simply voted for. To me, it's really, really crazy. It really, really is. That's their choice to do so, but it truly is crazy to me. It's very mind-boggling, to be honest.
I mean, I guess maybe that's how they've always been, and maybe there's just exposed to their biases or whatnot. I mean, if you can't have a civil, respectful conversation with somebody, I mean, if you're willing to end, friendships and relationships and ties with that individual, I'm like, maybe you need to take a look at your own self, and maybe there's some deep insecurities there, whatnot. I mean, it's one thing if they do something horrible to you and you decide to end that relationship, but to simply end it because of an opinion, that's just insane. So it is
Yeah,
what it is.
yeah. And I
I
can
mean,
look
you
on
can't,
both.
and the crazy part is you can't control someone else's actions.
You can't.
You can only control your own. So if they want to end that relationship with you, there's really nothing that you can do about it.
Yeah. Realistically, sit back and observe. If you're in that situation, sit back and observe and see how they act. If anything, you can observe their actions, because like you said, sometimes the true colors come out in these types of situations. Maybe somebody's always been like this, and there's been some harboring resentment, and it kind of comes out in these types of situations. Maybe it's just internal trauma. Maybe somebody has some type of trauma, and they have deeply rooted things that they don't feel good about themselves. So what they do is they take it on other people. One of the other things I'll say is, like, you gotta always understand about, like, things with the media and stuff is people just tend to believe whatever they hear. But I got a news flash for you. Everybody that voted for like Kamala Harris is not like a soft libtard, if you will. Even if there's people out there that absolutely probably are. The same thing with Donald Trump. Not everybody that votes for Donald Trump is a racist, misogynist pig. That's absolutely not true. And the both sides, like this, these are the narratives that are given to you, on both ends of it. You know what I mean? So they tell you these things for you to believe, and like believe these things and divide each other even further. You have to understand that you need to think for yourself. You need to be a free thinker. You can't allow the media to control your mind, because that's exactly what happens. They want to divide us. No matter which way you look at it and which way you carve it, they want to divide us. So I saw something today. This is just going off one of the sides of it, but I saw I actually have two arguments to both sides of it. One of them, somebody shared a thing, and it was right after the election. These two guys went to a school, and the one guy held up a sign that said "Women are property," and the other guy said things that we own. It said women's reproductive rights, all these other different things going down the list. These are two clowns that showed up at a school to start up controversy. That's on one side. Not every person is like that who votes for Trump. And then on the Kamala side, not everybody is like this. Some woman apparently that works for Einstein Hospital in Pennsylvania posted a thing that said, if you voted for Trump, I hope your daughter's babies, I hope if your daughter gets pregnant that she has an ectopic pregnancy, which means she loses the baby. And disgusting for a medical professional who was apparently since 2002 for 22 years was a physician's assistant in OBGYN, had actually said this. So the comments were getting I saw this on my lunch earlier, and people were getting out of control with the comments. And actually, Jefferson actually commented and said that we've seen the comments. These do not align with our values, and that this person has been terminated from Jefferson Health. So, they probably lost their license and all this stuff. Both sides have very disgusting people. You got to understand this is, but this, I would actually say, this is not the majority. This is the small portion of people that are disgusting on both sides. There are disgusting people on both ends of the spectrum. So you have to understand that. I don't care who you voted for. Not every person is like that. It's just things get very blown out of proportion when we sit there and just believe everything we see through the media.
And now that's why it goes back to what you said. That's why you have to be a free thinker. That's why you have to go outside and seek, different news media and different outlets, watch podcasts on YouTube and stuff like that. Try not to listen to legacy media much, because a lot of it is propaganda. They only want you to see a certain side. They're not really going to report to you the whole objective truth and whatnot. And those stories that you read back, they're both disgusting, with the guys coming out there saying that they own women's bodies, and then to have a health professional who's been in that field for over 2 decades say some shit like that, man. I mean, it's all coming out there, man. It's all coming out now. I mean, people are getting exposed. It's just insane. Absolutely fucking insane, dude. I can't imagine. Can you imagine if you were, for that doctor story, can you imagine if you were like one of the patients, or if you've been like treated for her in the past, man? Can you imagine like what you're going through and stuff like that, dude? They're like, wow, I actually like saw this person like a while back, man. They actually treated me, and this is what they really think. It's absolute crazy, dude.
Yeah, and maybe the other end of the spectrum, maybe the other people knew the guys who were out there holding the signs up for for the Trump side of it, and they're like, what the fuck? So it's like, that's what I'm saying. You definitely need to go to non-biased sources. If you sit there and watch the media outlets all day, it's going to be kind of crazy. Podcasts are actually one of the best ways to actually listen to people, because people can actually get their thoughts across, and not all podcasts have an agenda. You know what I mean? People just come on and voice their thoughts and voice their concerns. And especially some of these podcasts are crazy long. Joe Rogan's is very light work compared to some of the podcasts I've seen out there. Some of these podcasts like 7 or 8 hours, but it depends on the goal. It depends on what you're trying to listen to, because every podcast has different topics. I will say Joe Rogan is just kind of all over the place. Like, his podcast is just, he has people come on and they talk about things, and it's very open. There's obviously, like I was saying, I was listening to Fresh and Fit the other night. They're very controversial. Not a lot of people are going to always agree with what they say, but they're focused around a certain topic, right? So there's certain podcasts. This podcast right here, what do we mainly talk here? We mainly talk personal development, and we talk sports. But the beauty about podcasts is people can kind of come on and they can tell their story and they can have discussions. And it's not like we're not like a media outlet where we're putting shit out to like, sway you a certain way. You know what I mean? It's just kind of people coming together, collaborating their thoughts. And it's just also, sometimes what you need to do, why don't you read your news? Like, if you go to an online source like Wall Street Journal or something, you just go on, you read your news, because guess what? You can interpret it yourself. When you listen to people speak, they have bias. You know what I mean? It can be what their attention is to sway you, especially with bias. I see it on both ends, man. You can pop on CNN, you see them, they're talking trash about the right, and they're making fun of like people who vote for Trump, and then you see like the shows like Jimmy Kimmel and you got Jimmy Fallon and what's it, Colbert, make fun of Trump and everything, and you put on Fox News and they have like their shows like late at night and stuff, the late night shows, and like they're like making jokes about the left and all this stuff. I mean, it's all it is. It's literally division. It's division at its finest. It's literally what it is, and it's right in front of our eyes. It kind of just amazes me that people either they don't see it for what it is, or they do and they don't care and it's comfortable. Because guess what? People also don't want to be wrong, right? That's one thing too, bro, is people, when they've had a view for so long, they don't want to be wrong. So people tend to stay comfortable while sticking in that view, even if it might not necessarily be something they believe. That's something to think about too. People like to stay comfortable. We like what's comfortable.
Yeah, no, I mean, they like that comfort. So I agree with you 1,000%, man. But you still have to, at the end of the day, though, you still have to have a discussion with other people. You have to understand their perspectives and their viewpoints and stuff like that. And yeah, Mike hit it on the head once again. Media and social media will fill your head with a lot of bullshit. Yeah, man, you're 1,010% correct, man. It's like Steve said. You turn on CNN, they're making fun of the conservatives. You hop on Fox News, boom, they're making fun of the liberals. I'm like, I think the most important thing is to find some sort of outlet that has a good balance between the two. Mm-hmm. You have to find an outlet that holds both the conservatives and the liberals accountable and whatnot. And it's becoming very, very difficult to find, because no matter where you turn on to, like, you can clearly, you can see the clear biases in the way that they talk and the way that they report and then the way that they frame their stories and whatnot. So it's definitely a challenge. But, as a citizen, you have to do your homework. I mean, if you see something that doesn't appear right or whatnot, it's up to you to, find other sources of media. I mean, thanks to the internet, thanks to computers now, man, you can hop on YouTube and you can find podcasts out the ass, man. So, it's endless. It's not like how it was before, when your main source of getting news and all this stuff was through a television. Now, with the advent of, technology or whatnot, man, you can turn on your computer, you can turn on your phone, and boom, you have access to hundreds and thousands of podcasts and TV shows and presenters. And again, though, it's up to you. I mean, and maybe some people don't want to do that. Maybe some people, it's like you said, maybe some people are just too comfortable. Maybe they want to watch ABC. Maybe they want to watch Fox News. Maybe they want to see Newsmax. So it just goes back to each individual citizen.
Yep. I would say fine. Like when you vote and what you believe is like, it's just kind of what you align with. You know what I mean? But you're right. It's like I said, people might say, they might say, oh, that definitely seems like it actually makes sense what that person's saying. And that's the correct way of thinking. And my thinking is flawed. However, I don't want to change my views because I'm comfortable. And then that's tough. And it's a tough conversation. I have to hold myself accountable. A lot of people don't like to do that. I mean, it's safer to not, unfortunately, the only way for growth is to hold accountability. However, a lot of people we've seen in society today do not want to be accountable. They don't want to hold themselves accountable. So Mike had also said episode 190. You came far, brother. I see many more episodes coming too. Absolutely, man. We're keeping the train rolling, bro. Keeping the train rolling. Appreciate your support.
Yeah, 10 away from the big 200, man. We're almost there, dude.
I know, man. If it wasn't for all the hiatuses or postponements, man, we would have been there, man. 10 episodes, man. We'll get there. We're getting there. That's going to be a big episode, man.
So that's November. So yeah, that's probably going to be sometime, I think, in January or February next year, if I had to guess.
Yeah, probably likely January. Yep. It's crazy.
We're going to have to make that one a very, very special episode, bro. We're going to have to think of something for that one, because that's quite an amazing achievement.
Yeah, absolutely, man. The man, the myth, the legend just texted me, John Joseph Fiedler. If he's watching. Johnny Feeds out there.
What's up, Fiedler?
What's up, Feeds? I don't know if you watch him, but what up, bro?
That's somebody you got to bring on the show, man. I know. Yeah. I'll tell you this, bro. I know all the Judge boys gonna be watching that episode. You can mark my words on that one, dude.
My guy Feeds coming on, man, on the pod. Have a discussion.
Yeah. Hopefully it's his gentle side that's coming on.
Yeah, man. I don't want to see that ravenous side, man. I know John can get
Otherwise you're gonna be canceled, bro.
Man, you know what, man? That'd be good to have him on, man. Like, and then we have because me and John, we have different political views. But man, I'm not gonna lie, man. That'd actually be cool to have like a debate like on here, man. The only thing about it is like I don't want to really reveal my political views. So that's I would really have to be very transparent in those types of episodes. Obviously, you're gonna know which way I lean if we have one of those types of episodes. So it doesn't make me a bad person at all. You know what I mean? Like I have my views, and I like that's the thing. I respect like everyone in my friend circle, family, like people I don't want to associate with, I'm not gonna associate with. So plain and simple. So like if I don't want to associate with certain people, and I've had people in my life that I've had to cut out, just for my own personal reasons, I'm not gonna associate with people that I don't want to associate with. So at the end of the day, it's like I respect, you know what I mean? You respect me, I respect you. Plain and simple. I don't care what the color of your skin is, I don't care what your origin is, I don't care, you know, man, woman, whatever. You know, you show me respect, I'll show you respect. Plain and simple.
Yeah, you got that right, man. I agree 1,000%, dude.
Yeah, it's just crazy. It's like people just that's crazy. We're already 46 minutes in. But yeah, to answer your question, I'm like 190, 10 more. Well, 10 more to 200. Let me see. Let me just check Facebook real quick. See if I can see some comments. Because I saw some people liked the post, and I saw some people were watching on Facebook.
Oh yeah, I forgot the Facebook comments don't pop up anymore.
Yeah, they don't. We've got 16 plays on the one Facebook channel. No comments in there yet, though. I have 11 on the other one. So 27 in total going on Facebook right now. No comments in though yet. All the YouTube ones come through here. Yeah, I wish there was a way to kind of get them back here on Facebook, especially with StreamYard, you know, charging a premium to up the services per month. It's actually not StreamYard's fault though. It's actually a Meta thing. It's Facebook. I think it's more of a privacy thing for Facebook. So yeah, Bill was also supposed to come on tonight, bro. I don't know if Bill is going to make it because he did text me and said he was running behind, and he said there is a chance that he wasn't going to make it. So I was after I kind of put the promo out earlier. So if Bill makes it in, you know, for the final 15 minutes, 13 minutes or so, we'll probably just keep this to an hour. Not much longer, but John's still texting.
Yeah, I was surprised to see George when I came on.
Yeah, he was kind of the last minute. He said he was going to pop on before he went to soccer. Yeah, I didn't communicate that. That's why you were a little confused on the soccer thing. Yeah, he told me he was going to soccer. He's like, yeah, I'm about to go to soccer, and when I get to the game, I'm going to have to knock out. But he came on. That was George's first time on the podcast since we kind of parted ways. So
yeah, I'm like going back to March, April. I'm like, damn, we're almost at the end of the year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've already had the discussion with people. Me and George, we're still friends. We just parted ways in terms of business, the podcast. But he'll still come on as guest. It was the first time he had been on as a guest, but he'll be on actually for a real episode next week. That was more so what he was supposed to come on for tonight. I don't know how he would have with soccer, but I think what he was going to do was I think he was going to cancel the soccer thing for tonight, and he was just going to come on. But because it wasn't after hours, you know what I mean? He said, He said, I'm driving. Have a good night. Thanks, Mike. Have a good night too, man. Be safe out there. Yeah, I don't want you to have to comment in while driving or anything, man. Be safe. You know what I mean? I appreciate you listening in while you're on the road, though, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. Have a good night to you too, man. Get home safe, bye.
Yes, sir. Have a good night, man. But yeah, so that was the emotional side of it. It's just, you know, we need to try to hear. I think that there's three main things when people go into a discussion. I think one, they're either trying to make a point. Two, they're trying to make a difference. Or three, they're trying to be heard. I think the first point, when you're trying to make a point, you know, a lot of times that's not helpful. Like a lot of times people try to make a point. What they do is they try to sway the person to the other side. And I don't always believe that that's super helpful. You know, if you're trying to change someone else's view, you should never really go into a discussion trying to change someone else's viewpoint. You can have them maybe understand where you're coming from, but don't ever try to change someone else's viewpoint. At the end of the day, everybody's different, and you can't do that. You know what I mean? People are going to believe what they want to believe or how they want to view. You can help them try to understand your side of it, but don't try to change their views.
Yeah, I've seen it a lot on social media, man. People are trying to get each other people to change their views constantly based on what they think and what they believe in. It's like an almost on a daily basis, stuff like that. Instead of just trying to have a conversation, they're like, oh, well, you should believe this and you should believe that. And if you hop on over, you'll be on the right side of history and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, it doesn't really work that way.
Yeah, it's could be for Kamala, and somebody will say, "Oh, well, did you know that she did this, that, and the third?" Or you could be like, "Oh, well, I voted for Trump and he won the election." You could be like, "Oh, well, did you know that he's a racist, misogynist pig? That makes you one too," like, and all this other shit. It's like, and it's just people are always trying to paint a picture of someone. They put you in a box, essentially. You know what I mean? Because there's some people that might view things a certain way, and then I would actually say it's the minority of the group. They put you in that box too, just because of who you associate with. It's really, really crazy. It's really crazy.
Yeah, like I said, man. Hopefully, I'm hoping that because it's over now, man. Hopefully, that could kind of die down a little bit. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's still going to be like the after effects of it, but I'm hoping that at the very least within the next week or so that everything calmed down and hopefully things get back to normal.
Yeah, I'm hoping for no violent type of bullshit or any of this other bullshit going on. You know what I mean? Because it's like that's the scary part about it. Like you said, like just on that side of it, that Trump won. You saw that woman saying, "I hope your daughters get up top of pregnancy." I know that's not everybody. She's a very, very small minority, and most people are not disgusting pieces of shit like that. That's a really disgusting person who needs serious help. And I hope that they find whatever they're looking for in their fucking hearts, because it's disgusting. But I'm just saying, like, there are people out there like that. And that's the type of shit that you gotta worry about. Those type of people who are like mentally unhinged. Again, it's the minority. It's not everybody. So, but those are the type of people we need to watch out for. And again, you look at the other side, you see somebody who's really big racist and bigots on the Trump side of it. Absolutely, there are people out there. If everybody that's a fucking Trump supporter or racist and bigot, absolutely fucking not. It's not true at all. There's a lot. Some of the most respectable people I know are Trump supporters, and they're very respectful and they're good, genuine people. But you see those clowns out there with the signs saying shit like that, and they're racist pieces, like racist, sexist pieces of shit. And everybody gets put into that box too. They put other people in that box too, because I saw some people were sharing that and they're saying, "Oh, see, it's begun. Trump's won, and look at this is what we're seeing now. Look, it's going to be a dictatorship and all this other." It's not true. It's not true. Like, stop. You know what I mean? It's like, stop putting everybody in a box. Stop trying to. You know what I mean? It's crazy. How I see it with a presidential candidate, watch and see what they can do. There were a lot of Trump supporters that did not like Joe Biden, right? And they're like, okay, let's see what he does. And a lot of them still didn't like him after, his term. Cool. You know what I mean? Okay, well, we saw what he could do. You know what I mean? When Trump got elected in 2016, a lot of people that were Hillary supporters were like, let him see what he could do. And some of them still didn't like Trump after it was all said and done. You know what I mean? But let the candidate see what they can do. You know what I mean? That's how I see it.
They give people a fair chance, especially if they won the election fair and square. I mean, he won the electoral vote. He won the popular vote. No controversy like there was in 2016. Because 2016, I get it, because he won the electoral vote, but he didn't win the popular vote. And I think that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. But this time, he managed to get both of them. So I think it's up to America to, at the very least, give Donald Trump a chance to see what he can do for this country for the next 4 years. And hopefully, he can guide the country in the right direction.
Yeah, now I say it is like the majority have spoken. So, you know what I mean? Let's, see what happens. The majority have spoken. And no matter what side you were on, I mean, it was a pretty big gap of like what happened. The electoral was much higher. You know what I mean? It was a big gap in the electoral, and it was actually a really big gap in the popular as well. So, people vote a certain way for a reason. And in 2020, we saw what happened. There were a lot of people that did not vote for Trump. So it's not rigged on any side of it. People believed a certain way in 2020, and then people saw this presidency, and maybe people were just tired of what was going on, and they voted Trump this time. So, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, that's the beauty of the freedom to vote, is everybody gets a fair say. And I even saw some people. This was in both elections. They said it in the when Biden won and when Trump won. The electoral college is like, this is why we shouldn't have an electoral college. This is why I show you popular vote. Electoral college, essentially, for people out there that might not understand, electoral college, all it is it makes sure that everybody gets a fair say. Because look, if you want to go by popular vote, I'm gonna be honest. Like, look at Los Angeles and look at New York. They make up large portions of the United States of America in terms of population. Just those two cities alone count for a lot of this country. So you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say they just cover a chunk of this country, which is a lot of people populated in those two areas. Now, look, they typically lean blue. So same thing with Texas. Texas typically leans red if there's a heavy population in Texas. All it means is that everybody gets heard. Like, you know what I mean? Because look, it's like a lot of times the cities would dominate. You know what I mean? The cities would dominate in terms of popular vote. That's the thing. It's we just want to make sure everybody gets a fair say, even the smaller areas. So that's why there's an electoral college.
Yeah, no, it's to make the races more fair and to give, because you have, like you say, you have states that have a very, very large population, and you have states that have a rural population. If it was the popular college, if it was about the popular vote, man, New York and LA would basically decide every election.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much about it. That's what it would come down to. Yeah, maybe Texas here and there, but I'm like, bro, what? You got New York and you got LA. It's pretty much a wrap. That's why the electoral college is so important, because it kind of takes that away from it, and it gives the other smaller states an opportunity to have their fair say.
Exactly. And California already does have the most electorals. They have, what, 56? It's a lot. It's a chunk. You know what I mean? But in terms of popular vote, it would be crazy, man. If you went off of California and New York, like, it would be crazy. And then, for the right, more so Texas. Texas is very heavily populated. So there's a reason. Like, what they're trying to do is they're trying to make sure that there's checks and balances, make sure that there's a fair race and everything like that. I know a lot of people say, oh, it's already rigged. There's no sense in me voting because of the electoral college. In my head, I'm like, you don't understand how the electoral college works. You just think that somebody's pushing buttons and choosing what's going to happen. You don't understand how the electoral college works. Like, there's a reason.
It goes back to what you said earlier, man. They only believe what they want to believe. They don't like their viewpoints to be challenged.
Yeah,
they have a certain viewpoint of it, and then boom, that's it. You can't, no matter what you say to them, no matter how you try to explain it, no matter how you try to describe it, they're never ever going to see your point of view. So, people like that, they're hopeless. You should thank the Lord that you even have an opportunity to vote. There's people in other countries that, fight for the freedoms just to have a vote. And here you are, it's being given to you, and you're just basically saying, fuck you, I'm not going to vote. I'm like, well, you're not doing your duty as a citizen, regardless of whether you vote for Democrats or you vote for Republican, or maybe you want to vote for an independent or whatnot. At the very least, get your ass out to the polls and fucking vote. So I'm hoping that's what everybody did. At least anybody who watched this show, I'm hoping at the very least you went out to the polls and made your voice heard, regardless of who you were voting for.
Yeah, and nowadays there's no excuses because they have the mail-in ballots and all that. You don't even have to leave your home. Whereas, like, and I think what they mainly did that for was a lot of the elderly people, right? So that they essentially get a vote. They're able to get it, so they don't have to make their way out to the polls. They can get a vote and they get a say. And I think that's critical. You're right, man. There's people that fight for rights to vote, man. And back in the day, man, it was actually more selective of who could vote. If you weren't in a certain category, like going way back in the day, you weren't able to vote. You know what I mean? People didn't always have the right to vote. Like only select people actually had rights to vote. So, but I've seen multiple people say that though, like, oh, I'm not voting, sis, or I'm not voting, to like, yo, bro, because at the end of the day, my vote doesn't even count. They go off the electoral college. I don't trust, like, the electoral vote. It's rigged from the start. Tell me you don't understand how the electoral college works without telling me you don't understand how it works, because that's not true. Your vote does matter. Now, maybe I could understand if you say because your state is a certain way. Maybe your state is typically a blue or red state. It's not a swing state. So you're like, oh, even if I vote, like, it's not going to matter. But, like, to say that, like, the popular vote is all that, like, oh, the popular vote doesn't count. The electoral college just doesn't work that way. The electoral college is actually a fair balance, but everybody should vote. I don't care what your state is. I don't care if you're in a blue state and you're voting red. I don't care if you're in a red state and you're voting blue. You should still make it out to try to make that difference. Look for the longest, man. Florida was a blue state. Now it's a red state. You know what I mean? Things change. Things do change. Like states don't always stay the same. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you're in a swing state, that's even more the reason to vote, because guess what? Depending on who you're voting for, those swing states, they're called swing states for a reason, because those states are usually typically down the middle.
Yeah, I'm like, your vote could make the difference. That's the crazy part. It could come down to one vote. You just never know.
You really don't. You really don't. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's, but it's just overall, it's just people fight for these rights. You know what I mean? It's people fight for these rights. So it's, you're lucky to have the opportunity to vote.
Yeah, you got that right, bro.
Exactly. But, man, we just hit the hour mark, so I guess surely we can wrap up here. Anybody who's watching this after, I want to hear your thoughts on this, because what I would say is just the key takeaways here are try to understand when you're having an argument or a disagreement with someone, try to have both of your sides heard. So you want someone to hear your side, right? You want them to try to understand and see where you're coming from. Do the same exact thing with them. Have a logical, respectful conversation. If emotions get high, what I would ultimately do is say, hey, look, I think our emotions are getting high here. It's personal attacks starting to come into play. There's still points I want to get across. There's still points you want to get across. Let's have this conversation at another time. It doesn't mean, I don't want to hear you. It doesn't mean I don't want you to hear me. But when personal attacks start to get in, you got to check your emotions at the door, because that's when relationships do get damaged. They definitely do. I've had boys who have said some shit, like, whether it's at work, whether it's in the personal things, and like, you tell them like, yo, watch out here. You know what I mean? You're going to say some shit that, like, and one time it was not even to me, it was to somebody else. And I'm like, yo, watch what you say to them, because look, you're going to say something that you cannot take back. Like, once you say some shit to somebody, sometimes you can't take it back. I've also seen it in the workplace. I've seen it happen. And, you got to be careful what you say to people. Again, people might forgive, but people never forget. You know what I mean? People, you know what I mean? And some people might honestly hold resentment towards you forever. They'll be like, wow, when emotions get high, that's how you tip it. That's how you truly feel. You know what I mean? About me or something, So very cautious. Check those emotions at the door. And if emotions get high, I would say take the opportunity to say, why don't we come back to this later? This goes in relationships too, right? If you're in a relationship with somebody and you and your girl are freaking arguing, or you and your man are arguing, for the women out there, typically, they, you're not going to want to sit there and argue. Sit there and come back at a logical time when y'all can honestly sit down and have a logical conversation when everything's not so heated. It's just, that's the best way to handle that. I think that's relatively common sense, but still, this is a topic that really isn't talked about that much. And I thought it was a good opportunity to cover this because of everything that's going on with the election. I know emotions are high. I know a lot of people are very tense right now. It's very crazy. But I think one of the biggest things is we need to get back to respecting one another. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, we got to find a way to have honest discussions and just move forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, well, appreciate you coming on as always, brother. Appreciate that. We're able to have G in for a little bit, so G will be back in with us next week for this after hours, and you'll be there too, and we'll all be there. But that'll be a 9:00 one next week, guys. I'll post it on Facebook. I'll post it on Instagram. Final postponement. Promise you guys. That's my word to use. We'll have that next week, 9:00. That's on November 14th. Man, thanks as always, man, for improvising, man, and making it on this episode. I appreciate your support, brother.
Anytime, bro. My man. It's always a pleasure, bro.
Yep. Thank you, man. And
I'm looking forward to next week.
Yeah, man. Me too. We got some good topics lined up. I revealed some of them, but you guys got to stay tuned for the promotions to see the full topic list. And also, I haven't released the full list of guests yet. You guys know Marius and George are obviously coming on now, but when you guys will actually see the full list as we get closer to that episode next week. I haven't put it out yet because it's been postponed twice. I've been waiting to kind of see if everything was locked down official until I posted that guest list. But I'm gonna post it next week because we're obviously going live. So, that being said, also thanks to the people that tuned in tonight. So, Mike, thank you, brother. Appreciate the comments. I saw some people on Facebook were viewing and liking. So, Antonio, Tyler, appreciate you guys. To anybody who's watching this after the fact as well, thank you for viewing. Comment. I will get back to you. I'll respond to your comments, whether it's on YouTube or it's on Facebook. So, also, guys, if you haven't ever checked out actually the listening side of it, check us out on Spotify and Anchor. Hit that download button because that helps a lot. We want to, if you guys like these episodes, follow us on Spotify or Anchor, and also hit the download button because that really, really helps us. That being said, see you guys next week for episode 191, After Hours Part 6. Mario, thank you again. Thank you, everybody else. Have a great night, great weekend. We'll see you next week.
All right, have a good night, man. Take care.
Peace.